So welcome everybody to the second hour of Mindshifters Radio. Today is Tuesday, April the 26th, 2022. And our call-in number is 563-999-3581 and press 1, and that puts you into queue to talk to us. And we'd love to hear your comments and your questions because that makes this your show. Just a minute to get dialed in, and then I'll go to area code 760. In the meantime, I'll invite you to go to our website, www.whyagain.org, and look around. I made some changes this morning. I added a new section up in the multimedia that is news and then newsletters, so you can click and look at any of the past newsletters if you didn't get them. And if you're not on our mailing list, if you've not been getting our newsletters, if you scroll to the bottom of the page when you click on whyagain.org, there is a section that says get in touch or add me to your mailing list, join your mailing list, and it's a glowing heart at the very bottom. So if you click on that and give us your information, then you'll get our newsletters. They aren't every month. I've only sent 2 out so far this year, and we're already in the 4th month. I'm getting ready to send out another one here in a day or two, so be sure and get your name on our mailing list if you want to receive those newsletters. I also added some things under the section healing. There is, and then under healing the body, mind, spirit, there's a section on nourishment. There were several questions yesterday about different foods and things like that. And so now I've got a section out there, and it's what are you eating? And it's got a lot of information. I put out the God's Pharmacy, which is what we referred to yesterday, that food is like a sign of nature, that if like you cut a carrot, it looks like an eyeball inside. So that tells you that carrots are good for your eyes. And like Michael mentioned yesterday, the avocado, when you cut it open, it looks like a womb. And then I also put a section out there about the cucumber. So there's some new information. You can also go down and click at the bottom of the page. There's a section that says news. That's also up at the top under multimedia news. And so I click, I put all kinds of new stuff out there. So look around, and if you see something that isn't out there and you'd like to see it, let us know. Michael, we already have a hand up, but I want to welcome you to the show.
Well, thank you, dear heart, and let's talk to whoever's hand is up. That's awesome.
Okay. It's 760. I believe that this is Ann. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, young lady, we haven't heard your voice in a while. Welcome.
Thank you. I was actually waiting in line to comment with Dr. Tim's hour. However, it's okay. Can you tell Jeannie if Susan's still on?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
And I'll turn her mic back on if you would like to talk with her.
Yeah,
so
I just wanted to share. Hey there, lady. No, it was just great to hear your revelations, I'm going to call them, and how different you were coming across than in the past. And it's just like, I know I appreciate when people say something to me because I don't see my improvement sometimes. And you're starting to be aware of them, and that's just awesome because in that whole show, I don't recall anything negative, and that's where you used to be. And I just wanted to share that, how I agree with Dr. Tim's made some comments about, he could hear the energy, the difference in your tone, voice, whatever, however he put it, and I agree. And it's just exciting. So it brought up joy in me. It triggered joy in me. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, and it's fun it's fun to listen to that. It's like, and we as people, like when you mention, writing an opera, it's like, oh my goodness, right? And I know you have the musical background, and it's like, sometimes when in our gifts, we take them for granted, and then somebody like me comes along who's picking at the piano, and I'm getting there, but still picking at it, and we hear that somebody's written an opera, and as you described it, we're going, oh my gosh. And then we realize, oh, but wait, she has some of these struggles too, and she's coming along and she's healing them. It's like, oh my goodness. So I can do the same thing, with my gifts. Anyway, it's just a great reflection. I love the community that we can learn from each other, not just our teachers. Anyway, blessings, dear.
Yay.
Right. Thanks, Anne.
Yes, you're welcome and deserving. And so then, Michael, what I was going to share, Dr. Tim yesterday was doing, it was on lesson 9 in the Way of the Heart. And I was driving, and it had to do with sitting in a chair and just taking in whatever, just coming into peace and I go, okay, I'm driving. I'm on my way to a massage, which was great. And I was running a little bit behind, but I'd already texted my massage therapist, and I go, okay, first of all, I'm going to practice getting rid of the anxiousness. And I did, because there was no point. I already let her know. And so there's traffic. And at one point, just, anyway, I'm in this peace state, just driving along, but, still being aware, because clearly I don't want to close my eyes. But it was wonderful. And at some point, this guy pulled in front. There was a tour bus in the right lane, and there was a dually truck in front of me in the left lane. We were in the left lane. And all of a sudden, this person in a vehicle had pulled out in front of both of those. And I was out, it was in this state, and so I just had this observation and was aware, and there was no anxiousness about, oh my gosh, look what just happened. I was just able, because of the state I was able to observe, oh, my goodness, look at that. And then be grateful that the dually in front of me, since it was the second lane, that this guy passed just barely in front of, nobody put on any brakes, or at least the dually in front of me didn't put on any brakes. And so I go, wow, I just observed it. And it's like, it was great that I was listening to the show at that point, because when I left my house, I was in a state less than love, because of the way my morning it went, and it was my own doing. But just
can I break in
that state? So
can I break
in?
in?
Go ahead. I'm complete anyway. Go ahead.
So my offering is, you weren't in that state because of the way your morning was.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
You were in that state because of what's inside of you, that the way the morning went brought up for you. And so and I was thinking about heading with the show today in the direction of refining denial again, or reinforcing the whole idea of denial, and remembering our definition: when I think or speak as though something outside of me is the cause, or something inside of me, I'm in denial. And that's a place where you want to practice this ability to observe, to become the thinker apart from the thought, the feeler apart from the feelings, the actor apart from the actions, and just watch your mind as it feeds its denial. And if you are the observer of it, you catch it and you go, so now there's a part of my mind that I've been hiding from myself with this act of denial. And what was my act of denial? I had a bad morning because of the way my morning went.
Yeah.
No. I felt this way because of the way, no, it wasn't because of the way my morning went, it's because that's what's in me. And life is designed to show us, it's like, it's here to kick us right square in the limitation and show us what our next piece of work is, continuously.
Yes, yeah. And that's what I like about sharing, and Susan was looking at that earlier when, she had been talking with you, is that when we share, and I think that's the whole point about sharing, and when I share with other friends, ideas come that wouldn't come, say, on my own, and when you share with someone, it's like you're sharing that out loud, and oh, look. So when we share, we get all excited, and we've had this one piece, and yet we still have those pieces of denial in there, and they come out, and you are able to pick them up, which is just awesome. So, the process and the learning continues. Yes, thank you. Anyway, it's so great. I mean, I can start to laugh now. I mean, I laughed at that guy. I mean, after I observed that, I go, huh, okay, all right. That was just like it says in the way of master. It was a non-event. I mean, it just was a neutral event. Okay, and driving on. Anyway, yeah. But thank you. Thanks for.
And it'll all go to the next level. We can see an event like that, and you just send a blessing and, gee, I hope you're safe. Get home safely.
Yes.
And that's powerful that, you've cultivated your relationship with love so deeply that you were able to come from that disturbed state when you left the house and move into this connected space. And, the whole idea of the work is that's where we're designed to live 24/7, 365. And the purpose of life is to kick us in the limitation and show us what we're holding on to.
Yes.
And it plays its role so well, doesn't it?
Yes. And that it's okay, that we're still okay when that comes up. We just deal with it and let it go until our next piece comes up. And so now my shift is, even though, I get in those states, and it's like Dr. Tim had a great example of when he was listening to a show, and Susan might be able to help me with the details of this, but where, it's this great place that they have. It's a retreat and everything, and then all of a sudden, in an instant, she switched and was downplaying, somebody else, and Dr. Tim was able to, I can't remember how he communicated it to her, and the lady thanked him for reminding her, she got out of her state of love just, in an instant, but then she got right back in. So that it's okay that we still have those things in us that get triggered, but we're learning to deal with them because we have the tools. And anyway, it's exciting. So thanks for being on the journey with me and the rest of the community, Susan. Have a blessed day. And you too, sir.
Appreciate you and the whole community. We're definitely blessed. So, Miss Susan, what's on your agenda for today? Any thoughts for us?
Oh, well, I'm doing my worksheets. I actually overshot and did 6. So
whoa, we're going to have to tie you down.
Yeah, and it's having global effects on all levels, physical too, physical health and well-being and vitality. And I'm telling you, doing those worksheets, I'm glad you chomped on my ankles. And so I'm going to chomp on everybody else's on this radio show and just say the smallest thing can be a worksheet that leads to the main stuff. And it's like untying a million tiny knots that have kept, well, I should speak for myself, just kept me held down and under wraps. I can just feel everything loosening up. Air coming in.
So it kept you tied down?
It did, Michael.
It is. I mean, I see. Okay. I didn't know that was possible. I have to look into that. I thought if you were tied down, it would have been you that tied you down.
Yes. Yep.
Any possibility that you use those things to keep yourself tied down?
Another
worksheet.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well, I don't have much to say except that it's going. So thank you.
That's awesome. You know, that insight, that little phrase of Shakespeare, where he says, "My words fly up, my thoughts remain below." To me, that's his invitation to recognize that our words are continuously telling us about our own unconscious minds, if we'll listen to them. And if we think our words are about somebody else, then we're in projection communication. You know, like, this structure in my mind belongs to you. You did it to me. As opposed to, oh, I have a construct in my mind. Oh, my God. What's happening inside of me is happening inside of me. And when my words indicate I believe otherwise, there's, you know, it's just a beautiful reminder and the next piece of work to be done. So,
Yeah.
pretty sweet, pretty awesome. So congratulations, that's fabulous.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right.
Yep.
Holding your day is blessed.
Thanks.
All right. Appreciate you. Bye-bye. So how's everyone else doing? What's happening in your world? Has this conversation triggered anything for you? How can we support you? What's on your mind? Our call-in number, if you're on one of those stations where we can't see you, is 563-999-3581. If we can't see you on our control panel, you can't speak to us, but if you call that number, you'll be listening to the show directly. And then if you push 1, you'll be listening to the show. We appreciate the opportunity to extend this teaching, ultimately in the practice of getting ready for it to be available to quite literally every mind, heart, and being on the planet. And each one that participates, each one that asks their question, gives an opportunity to refine another piece of the puzzle for us, so that when we run across someone else who has that piece of the puzzle puzzling them, we can support them in undoing it. So if you're out there in listener land, and you have a thought or a question for us, push 1, and let's have a conversation about it. If you call that number, you're listening to the show directly on your phone. Push 1, raise his hand in the control panel, and here we are getting to chat. We're experiencing a really nice drizzly day today. Perfect timing. We just got most of the garden planted yesterday. And so this rain is just perfect. And it's a little bit on the cool side with all the newly planted plants. It's gentle on them. Nice, sweet, gentle rain. Appreciation for that. And encourage everybody to look at what you need to even if you just do a 4-foot square garden, the amount of food you can grow in it is amazing. And, the more you take control of your own food supply, the more you know what you're putting in your body and what's nourishing you. And when you look at what the culture sells as food, some of it's pretty tragic. And so just an invitation, if you're going to be holy, holy's got nothing to do with being down on your knees with your hands folded. It means whole. It means working on every level. I, for one, am really appreciating the fact that, in my whole life I've never gardened before, that now I'm getting my hands in the earth and getting to learn about soil and building soil and putting this little hole in the ground and dropping a little round thing in it, and wealth comes out of it, I mean, we couldn't even start to buy the greens that are coming to our garden in any market anywhere near here. We couldn't even start to buy them. And the nutrition, we go to the grocery store and you buy a head of romaine and it's about 50% white because it hasn't been grown in soil that's vital, hasn't been left in the ground long enough and handled properly. White, transparent lettuce is almost kind of like saying there's nothing in here. So we go out and buy or cut a few romaine leaves. There's not a spot of white on the romaine. The whole leaf is this dark green. And what a blessing to do that. And it's simple. It's easy. It doesn't have to take a lot of work. In fact, we've started a bunch of seeds in a small device that's hydroponic. We can start a dozen or so plants in it, and within a week, cucumber leaves are 4 inches in diameter, and they're just rocking. And it's just so easy to do. So I encourage you to consider when people say, "Oh, I'm too busy." Go busyness. Let go of that game. That's one of the most common drugs on the planet is busyness. Give yourself time to take care of yourself, to feed yourself properly, and make that part of your life's job, part of the work that you do in your world. Working for your own nutrition is a whole lot better than working for money. So a few thoughts in that regard.
Plus you get exercise and sunshine.
Well, that, and you also get to connect with what are called SBOs, soil-based organisms, and the energetic pattern and literally the gases that come from the roots, the interaction of the microbes in the soil and the air and the water and the nutrients, all of that feeds and is all part of the healing process. And so I invite you to look into that, look into the way that you eat. I was talking to a gentleman last week who has done, over the years, 3 or 4 intensives, and he finally picked up on, it's time for me to change my nutrition. Got a copy of the Rosaby's book, and making smoothies, and shifting and changing his whole dietary management, realizing how important a component that is in the care of this energy system we call the body-mind unit. So we invite you to participate in deeper ways in every aspect of your life. Pardon me, and in particular, that of doing your work, the work of forgiveness, the work of healing, literally owning and facing every untoward thought, every untoward energy that comes up, that surfaces, owning it, moving through it. Recognizing that forgiveness is a tool for uncovering the things we've hidden from ourselves, the things that we have been in a generational habit of hiding for perhaps 1,000 generations. And as you open those hidden parts of your mind, all kinds of squirrely things can show up. And the objective here is to heal anything that is less than love, to let go of the tendency to blame, and to stop stating speaking, in a way that the constructs of your mind are caused by someone else. The only reason they can come forward is because they're there. There's a story we read back some time ago about the fellow who's sitting having a cup of tea, and somebody bumps his arm and he spills the tea all over the place. He says, "Oh, look, you made me spill the tea." Well, no, actually, I bumped your arm. If the cup had been filled with orange juice would have spilled out. And when you realize that when life squeezes you, whatever's in you starts to come out. It's like a toothpaste tube. If what comes out is hostility and fear, then you know that you're from a bloodline of people who've lived in hostility and fear. The language, the habits, the structures, the methods of dealing with things, the goals, are all part of what creates the condition of inside of you that causes certain things to come out of your mind. And if you language how those things are, you made me mad, then you hide on a deeper level and dissociate from your madness, your anger. You anesthetize yourself on a deeper level and hide your pain at still a deeper level. And if you do that, then your pain becomes a more deeply embedded dis-ease energy within your tissue structure. When you reverse that, if somebody comes along and squeezes you, what comes out could be beauty and sweetness and compassion, understanding, as Anne was sharing with us. You know, if you listen to the way she said he, the guy driving the car that jumped out in front, you can see there was a potential for something to be squeezed out of her in that tone. And what she did was took control of her own mind and chose to stay connected to love. And that's such a beautiful and powerful example, especially, you know, if you listen to the recording, the way you said he might have had another name in mind for him, which for me indicated there might be a worksheet there just the same. You were able to override it, but at the same time, you might look at doing a worksheet on him and what happened there. And you might find another level of your mind that holds some judgments. But I think it's just profoundly powerful for you to be in such a state of self-observation that you chose to stay connected to love instead of fall into something less than love. It's awesome. And blame is probably one of the most important worksheets that anybody will ever do. Because, of course, when we're playing that blame game, when we're playing the game of somebody else is the reason this is happening, we're literally hiding the content of our own minds from ourselves. Profound difference in the way life unfolds. And there was a term for the state, Anne, that you achieved coming out of your house in a state of disturbance, having this fellow trigger some things with the way he drove, and staying connected to love, and staying connected to that serenity. And they talked about it as serenity that passes all understanding. They normally pronounce that as peace. You know, they say, Yeshua said, my peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. It's actually serenity in Aramaic. And that we can maintain our serenity, whatever's happening around us, instead of going to hostility and fear. Mind stays healthier, body stays healthier, relationships stay healthier, finances do better. Everything tends to move in an upward direction when we stay connected to that state of active love. Can't happen when we're in the blame game. In fact, if there's someone that you blame, you might do a mind shifter around your appreciation for the people that you blame. You know, there's somebody that's regularly on the tip of your tongue is there to blame. Take their name, Hortense. Okay? So I really deeply appreciate Hortense every time she does something to bring up my aggravation. Now, of course, the mind is going to say BS to that. Are you kidding me? I get angry with her. She's such a... Whatever's about to come out of your mouth, you write that on the right side of the page when you do a mind shifter. Remember, you divide the page in two. On the left-hand side, you write the mind shifter, then write everything that comes up in response to it and work through what's moving in you. Profound difference in your world and in your life. And we're about the halfway point in the show.
And we have a hand up.
Awesome. Let's say hello.
It is Miss Celinda, 541. You're on the air.
Yep, it is.
Welcome, young lady.
The rescuer of worms on this drizzly morning.
Is that what you've been doing this morning, capturing the worms and putting them back?
Well, there was a big fat earthworm, and so I'm going to relocate him to my garden, or her, or it.
Cool.
And
we put a couple of.
Go ahead.
We're getting a nice drizzle. We're getting a nice drizzle too, and full of worm farms right in our garden. And when we first started this new garden last year, we couldn't find a worm for love nor money. We've now got it's about a 15 by 15 space. We can't dig 2 inches in any direction without having 2 or 3 worms pop out everywhere. I mean, it's just awesome. This little worm farm has really done well. And you can create one so easily.
Oh, how do you do that?
You can create a worm. Oh, just very easily. Go to a pastry shop, and they go through dozens and dozens of 1 gallon, 2 gallon, or 3 gallon plastic buckets. Take the plastic bucket, drill holes everywhere around in it with about maybe a 3/8 drill or a little larger. So just holes, so the bucket stays intact, but holes everywhere. And then dig a hole in the ground so that the lid of the bucket is just above the ground. And the bucket drops down inside, and then seed some worms in there, and every day, or collect all your food scraps and just drop them in that bucket. The worms can move in and out of the bucket at will. You've got your fresh food going in, so it's creating compost from the worms, worm castings, and the worms just love it. And I mean, we've got in this main new garden, we've now got 3 sections. We've got 1 bucket, like what I'm talking about, and then we've got this little worm farm called a subcomposter. Anyway, subpod. That's it, subpod. And I mean, literally, it's now populated with. I mean, I don't know how to take population count, but literally every time we dig, Jeannie was putting a plant. She said, "Get out of the way, move over, worms, move over." They're just, I mean, the ground is just filled with them. Pretty cool.
Right. And now, did you buy red wrigglers to get in there, or what?
Yes.
Or did you just let your garden worms come in?
No, we seeded each of them with some red wigglers, and we bought them from a place. If I remember correctly, we bought them from a couple of different places, and the most active and the best reproducing were from a place called Uncle Ben's Worm Farm. We spent money 2 or 3 times on worms at different places, and when we got his worms compared to the others, they just seemed to, I don't know, I guess it's his only business, and he's learned how to really grow them vital and keep them in good shape, so when he ships them, they're ready to rock, and they've been rocking. I mean, we have 2 garden spaces now, one 8 by 12 and one that's about 15 by 15, and they're just jammed with worms.
That sounds interesting. I'll do some more research on that. One's by 15 by 15. I was just curious how big your garden was. Yay. 8 by 12 and 15 by 15, you said? Well, I just wanted to say that I'm right in there with you. And I went to the store yesterday, I believe it was, to buy some kale, because since we're in a motorhome and it's just now beginning to be gardening season, there's not much in the garden. There is salad burnet, which I highly recommend. That will bring magnesium to your soil if you have clay soils. And it's also a little perennial, and its little leaves are supposed to taste like cucumber. I understand somewhat stronger. I have it growing in my garden, and I'm not sure it tastes like cucumber to me, but people put it in their salads. And I think I went to the store anyway, and the last time I had bought kale, it was $3.49, and when I went to buy it this time, it was $4.99 a bunch. So I said, I think something is telling me it is time to get really serious about my gardening.
I think you're right on track. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. And I just sent you, it's actually Uncle Jim's worm farm. And I just forwarded you, they've got a sale going on, so I just forwarded you an email from them.
Okay, I'll check it out. Also, I was just surfing YouTube a little bit. Not that I like to get on the computer, but it just was circumstantial. I was listening to a Dr. Mercola, or reading a Dr. Mercola article, and he had a link, and I listened to the link that he had, and then I went, the next one showed up, and it was, I think she was an Aussie lady who does this no-till gardening, and she has kind of a twist on it a little bit. She said she's been doing it for 20-some years, and it's only about 17 minutes long. I'll be glad to send you the link if you're interested. And apparently she has a whole series of permaculture classes that she gives for free.
Please do. Yeah, please send it. We'd love to have it. We're learning a lot, and we're doing no-till. We haven't done any tilling at all. Well, we tilled for our potatoes because we planted them in February. In fact, our potatoes are up and rocking already. They've broken through the ground, and they're just beautiful, bright green. But we did till and dug down about 12 inches to plant our potatoes in February. And, with the earth being warm down there all the time, they developed and grew. And I mean, literally about the day where we had what at least so far appears to be our last frost, the first potato came through, and now we've got about, maybe 10 or 12 of them through, Jeannie? So.
When was
but
that?
We did till for that, but just a week ago.
Okay. I'm using
but that's the only place we've tilled was to dig in. Say again?
I said I wanted them for comparison to see how my garden, what the differences were and the length of the season and things like that. Yeah, cool.
Where are you at with frosts now?
It's still getting down into the 30s. We're expected to have some spitting of snow on Thursday. We've woken up. It was a beautiful April, and we woke up to the really warm weather, and then all of a sudden we got slammed about 3 or 4 overnight snowstorms. And we had actually 86-year records this April for lows in the teens. So we're quite a bit colder than you.
Wow.
And
well,
we don't have
we're supposed to get...
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we're supposed to get our last 2 days in this range, a 38-degree day tonight and 39 tomorrow, according to the forecast. And then from there, our lowest is in around 54, 55, showing for the next 10 days. So I think we're past the frost. I'm hoping we are because we've got everything planted.
Very good. Well, it'll be exciting. We have long, hot, dry summers, so it'll be really exciting to compare with you that our gardening seasons. What a delight. So keep sending pictures, and as mine comes up, I'll send pictures to you. And cool. I was wondering if you were interested in hearing a Fra Giovanni's prayer from, I think, the 15 or 1600s.
Say again, who it is?
Fra Giovanni.
Okay. Sure. Share it with us, please.
There is nothing I can give you which you have not, but there is much, very much, that while I cannot give it, you can take. No heaven can come to us unless our hearts find rest in today. Take heaven. No peace lies in the future, which is not hidden in this present instant. Take peace. The gloom of the world is but a shadow. Behind it, yet within reach, is joy. There is a radiance and glory in the darkness. Could we but see? And to see, we have only to look. I beseech you to look. Life is so generous a giver, but we, judging its gifts by their covering, cast them away as ugly or heavy or hard. Remove the covering. and you will find beneath it a living splendor woven of love by wisdom with power. Welcome it, grasp it, and you touch the angel's hand that brings it to you. Everything we call a trial, a sorrow, or a duty, believe me, that angel's hand is there. The gift is there, and the wonder of an overshadowing presence. Our joys, too. Be not content with them as joys. They, too, conceal divine gifts. And so at this time I greet you, not quite as the world sends greetings, but with profound esteem and with a prayer that for you, now and forever, the day breaks and the shadows flee away.
Sweet. Sounds like he's had a taste of human life.
You know, I was reflecting on this. Now, I didn't come from a Catholic background, but I came from an evangelical background that was pretty close to fundamental. And for the longest time, as I left that space, I blamed it, I judged it, I rejected it, I abandoned it. And yet what I found was that within every tradition are gifts for our further growth. And I'm very grateful now for my background. I'm very grateful that I went through all these different spiritual approaches in my seeking, and that each one had jewels for me that I took with me when I left that teaching. And so I just, for those of you who come from a Catholic background, or those of you who come from a fundamental or evangelical background, or a Buddhist, or any Eastern religion background, Muslim, doesn't matter, bless that. That's all I can say. Bless that. It was your rich heritage. It was the ground out of which you sprang.
For sure. And I didn't make a list of each of the words that you described what you did. You blamed it, whatever those words were. But
yeah,
there's your indicator for a next refined set of worksheets to do. That you didn't blame your fundamental religious past for what it did. You blamed your religious fundamental past because it was blaming your mind. You weren't angry at it because of it. You were angry because there was anger there. You weren't sad about it because of sadness. It made you sad. It informs you. Whatever we want to do to something or somebody else, it informs us what's inside of us. When we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, it's like, oh, here's my next piece of work. Every word we say is autobiographical. And every word, especially said in hostility or fear, is an indicator of the work we need to do.
That I think I would like to write that down. Every word we speak is every word we say is autobiographical. You have now gone down in immortality with a quote, Sir Michael.
And every word is, and go with the second half of it, and every word informs us of the next piece of work that we need to do when there's any form of hostility or fear going on.
Right. And it all, Susan was talking to Dr. Tim today about all of her issues being spokes of a wheel with one central primary issue, hub, and mine is safety. And I have come to that realization. So anything I work on, if I dig deep enough, it goes down to safety. And so I thought I'd share that with you.
Right on track. And that is recognizing that and doing the work to remove those issues of safety internally is what moves us. We've talked, a fair amount about being locked into the sympathetic dominant state where fight, flight, fear, and fright are the operative energies. And it's safety that heals those. When I clean up the safety, the thought disorders based in a lack of safety in me, then I'll automatically move out of that sympathetic dominant state into a parasympathetic state where all of a sudden the energy is able to flow into me with which I thrive and which life blooms and blossoms.
Which brings me back to the pineal gland, Michael. I was doing a little more research from the scientific side of it on the pineal gland, and it was amazing how many diseases have to do with calcification of the pineal gland. And the other thing that amazed me is that in the chakra system, the pineal gland chakra, the seventh chakra, is what would it be? A motto for it or a metaphor for it would be to live in present time, live in the eternal now. And I just got
in theos.
I began, in theos. And then I began to realize that very often where I put my hands, I'm not really aware. I just put my hand somewhere on my body, and my hands have been going to my occipital area and the top of my head, or the occipital area and my forehead. I just wanted to share that with you. The pineal gland, since it's nestled behind the pituitary, I just had this little insight. Well, if you're doing EFT or something like that, and where they tap the top of the head, well, I would imagine, for me anyway, that just putting my hand gently on the top of my head and then realizing the connection, if I have my pineal area covered with my hand and my occipital perceptive area covered with my other hand, and also the connection between the CSF, the cerebral spinal fluid pump, and breathing, and the pineal gland, because I understand the pineal gland, from what I've found, if it's all true, is more blood, more oxygen gets to the brain via the pineal gland, because it absorbs it, than any other part of the body. And I went, wow, more blood flows through there, which I interpreted as oxygenation. I just wanted to share with you. I feel like my brain cells are a popcorn machine at the moment. I just thought I'd let you know.
That's fabulous. And it's interesting that we live in a country, where a substance that specifically calcifies our pineal gland is supplied in our homes every day, in virtually every home in the country.
Chlorine and fluoride.
Yeah. And those who aren't getting it in the water aren't getting, people say, well, I never drink that water. Do you shower in it?
Right.
About 600 times as much chlorine is absorbed from a single 15-minute shower than the water one would drink all day. You got to filter out that chlorine 600 times.
Oh, 600.
A 15-minute hot shower, and some of the ways to ameliorate that is keep your shower cooler, although chlorine boils off, so to speak, at a very low temperature, relatively speaking, much lower than water. But a hot shower causes a great deal of it to become gasified, and of course you're breathing in, especially if you're in a little enclosure where all the steam is kept inside, then that chlorine is being absorbed through the skin and being breathed in. And you could drink it, a regular amount of it all day, and from one single shower absorb 600 times the amount of chlorine. And, you can go down to the local Lowe's or Home Depot, and for as little as $16, at least take care of a significant amount of that. And a fluoride's a different story. It's harder to take out. But it's interesting. And also, virtually every psychotropic drug has fluorine at its base.
Psychotropic, you mean like mushrooms or any of those?
No, psychiatric. Psychiatric drugs.
Psychiatric. Oh, I didn't know what was psychotropic. I didn't know what that
Fluoride.
meant. Good.
Yeah, fluoride is fluorine.
Well, not only that, but one of the reasons Larry and I are here is this is one of the few places in Oregon where water is neither chlorinated nor fluoridated.
How large a community is it?
It's very tiny. We're in frontier, dear.
Oh, good. Well, that's a blessing because I forget exactly what the
300 people, but the water is so pure. The state does not demand that it be chlorinated. Yeah. And the local population is about to fluoridate it.
Yeah, it is a choice for local population, but I think on a federal level, communities are mandated to have chlorine above a certain amount. It's a relatively small number. But anyway, that's great. Nice that you don't have to deal with that.
Well, it's just our water is so pure that they don't chlorinate it. I mean, it's just a state says no need to chlorinate it. It's just too pure. It has such low. It's just not an issue. Yeah, comes off the mountain.
When we were at Heartland, one of our favorite places to go and visit is Hot Springs, Arkansas, and they have this deep water geysers of hot water that come up that are just, as pure can be. And there are bathhouses there, like dozens and dozens and dozens, and most of them are closed. They've been closed since the 30s. But the ones that are open, they have and I'm not sure whether it's state or federal, but they've mandated, like we stopped going there when they did this. They've mandated that even the water coming out of the ground for the hot baths has to be chlorinated. It's like, are you kidding me?
It's
but
the
that's
bottom line. The chloride.
Bizarre.
Yeah, the chloride is a cast off, I think, from the mining industry or something. I'm not sure. Same with fluoride. So they sell it. Yeah.
Well, the chlorine actually started out in World War I, and it was a gas that was made to kill people.
Right.
And it became a very large industry because of the killing machine that it became. And so they went around and looked once the war was over, how are we going to keep making our money? Oh, let's tell them how good it's going to be if we put it in their water for them.
Right.
That's where the chlorine industry came from. It's still killing people, still doing its job.
Well, it's the same with fluorine also, right?
Well, now, actually, most fluoridated water, they don't use fluorine anymore. They use hydrofluoric sulfuric acid. That's a waste product of the fertilizer industry because that's such a huge industry, and the waste is so expensive to get rid of that they sell it to communities now to fluoridate their water.
Bottom line, though.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. When we're not in Rothman, Cuba, we're, it's all about me.
Well, congratulations on doing your work and moving forward, and delight to hear what's happening in your world.
And maybe Jeannie can put that infamous quote by Dr. Michael Ryce on. Maybe she can put that down in the notes because that's a great one.
We'll do it.
Sweet.
We're co-conspirators.
There you go. Well, any other thoughts for you, young lady?
I think that will do it for today, Michael and Jeannie. You take care. An Easter Spring Garden Joy card is coming your way.
Cool. All right. Well, have a blessed one.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, well, Miss Jeannie, do we have anything else happening in the chat room or anybody in the phone queue with a hand up?
No, nothing else. I would just add, we had a self-made hoop house or whatever, just with some cattle panels and some plastic, and we have harvested kale and chard and lettuce and mint and parsley all winter, and it's still just rocking. It's just amazing, and it was just self-made little area, and hopefully we can cover our back garden so that next year we'll have 3 times the amount of space to continue growing.
For sure. I mean, the kale that's coming out of the garden still now from our winter crop is, it's almost black. It's so loaded with nutrition. It's just awesome. And it was a simple little, it's about a 12 by 8 space, just for information's sake, if you're interested in growing something and having something that carries on year round. About a 12 by 8 space, and I think it probably cost us about $350 for hog panels or cattle panels, steel fencing that they used to fence cattle in. We just took it in 8-foot pieces, stood it up on end, folded over this 8-foot space so there's plenty of room for us, 6 feet to walk in it. We tied it together with just plastic tie straps, put garden plastic over it, and used clamps, large hand clamps, to just clamp it down so we can take it apart, take the plastic off in about 4 minutes. And we had a garden space all winter. We did put a 55-gallon drum, filled it with water, and put a heat band on it so that on really cold nights that would radiate some heat into the garden so we didn't lose everything. So we had to add that heat source. And so we encourage you to put it to work in your life along with every other tool and have the best year yet of your eternal life. If this work is benefiting you, then we invite you to consider donating to support us at the level of benefit it is to you. Create that level of support in whatever way you can. Project you can take on, financial support, whatever it takes. All we're about is taking this to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. And everything that comes to support that beyond a simple lifestyle is where the money goes, is to make that happen. Appreciate you. Blessings. Have a good day.